Hi, how you doing? Thanks for looking in. Anyway, today I want to talk about random acts of kindness. I think it's really important, actually, that we look out for ourselves. Times are difficult, times are hard. People are finding life really difficult at the moment, particularly financially. um, Buying a house or renting accommodation is really expensive. Uh, Prices have gone up a lot in recent times, and people are genuinely finding it hard. And instead of getting grumpy and horrible with each other, I think it's important that we reach out and show kindness towards each other in this world these days. And I just want to give you a few little examples of random acts of kindness that have happened to me, or that I've carried out, or people have carried out towards me. But like I say, what I actually hate are bullies, don't you? And when you're driving along the road, people bibbing you and rude gestures or being aggressive, trying to push you out the way. And I think, courtesy and understanding and being kind toward each other is so important, and being tolerant, really, of minor little things. So, but people can be so harsh, can't they? And really aggressive, and it's just uncalled for, really. So here I am. I'm sitting in my car outside a care home for people with dementia, and I'll come to what I've been doing in a minute. But I just want to talk about a random act of kindness that happened a few months ago to me. Was I foolishly I drive a diesel car, and I foolishly put petrol in my tank, and I realised, and I stopped. So in my tank was a mixture of diesel and petrol, and I was hopeful that I would get away with it, that the mixture of petrol wasn't too much. Anyway, I managed to drive the car, and I thought, well, maybe if I run it down a bit and I'll top it up with diesel, I might get away with it. But as I drove along, I started conking out, and it got worse and worse. And I was driving through this town, and I conked out at a junction, and a couple of local motorists leapt out of the car to help me push it round the corner. They could see I'd broken down. But there was another motorist there who was bibbing, get out of the way, and all this sort of thing, being really inconsiderate. But anyway, leapt out of their cars was this young man and this young woman. And they absolutely helped me to. I was trying to push the car on my own, and they could see I couldn't cope. They helped me to push the car around the corner, and so I could call somebody up. And I had to call somebody up and have the tank drained of all the fuel. And then some diesel put in, and that cost quite a lot of money, and I had to pay for it myself. But I was absolutely amazed. I thanked the two that helped me a lot, really. I said, oh, it's amazing, you're brilliant, thank you for helping me. So they helped me push around the corner, onto a little side street, and they're awaited for this van. Anyway, this young woman who pushed me, she helped push the car. I said, oh, brilliant, thank you for helping. She came back to see if I was all right. And as it happened, I was starving. I hadn't eaten, and I was waiting for hours for this specialist person to come and drain the tank out. And she said, do you know what? There's a takeaway around the corner. I'll take you there if you like. I was gobsmacked, actually, that she was, a young girl in her early 20s, and that she trusted me to have me in a car, complete stranger, and to drive me to a Chinese takeaway, let me order my takeaway, and drove me back to my car so I could sit and eat me takeaway in the Chinese takeaway in my car whilst I waited for the repairs guys to come. Wasn't that a lovely act of random act of kindness? I thought it was absolutely superb, wasn't it? So, and that made my day. That was so kind. Another one that happened to me was during the pandemic. I dropped my wallet in this street, and it's a notorious street where quite poor people live there, and alleged criminals live there. And I've got a very poor memory for numbers, so I'd written my phone number inside the wallet. Anyway, I had a phone call, and this guy said, "Oh, I think I found your wallet. Would you like to come and collect it?" Went round this house and went and knocked on the door, and it was obvious that these people were really, really poor, you know. And I said, "Oh, what do you do?" And they said, "Well, unemployed, I'm sick at the moment," and all this. I said, "Well, thank you so much." And the wallet was intact. None of the money that had been left in the wallet had been touched. All my credit cards were still there, all my bank cards. And I was wowed. So I had to go to a local supermarket, and I bought a store card. I put money on it so they could go and buy groceries or whatever they needed on this card. And I was just so grateful. And what an act of kindness, because they could have gone, "Oh, let's have his money," or you know, "This is a manna from heaven. You know, we're desperate, we're in dire straits. Let's burn all his money, or use his cards." You know, pretty easy, isn't it, these days, that they could have had a little run on the cards. But they had the integrity and the decency to phone me up, and I felt that they deserved a reward for that. So that was really nice. My wife lost her keys the other day, and we searched for her. We phoned the police, and they seemed completely disinterested. You know, in the old days, they kind of said, "Oh, we don't encourage people to bring keys in anymore. We tell them to use social media rather than bother us." So, and the police stations now often, you know, they don't have desks anymore. Only one or two in the whole county. Now I picked up this yellow phone to speak to them, and you know, that nobody answered. It's just like they're pushing away, aren't they? Not very good, is it? So they seem to be like blocking these police stations away behind high fences, as if like we're dangerous people that might attack them or something, you know. So anyway, why am I sitting outside a care home? As an act of kindness. I don't get paid to do this. I go in and see this chap who has got really, really bad dementia. He's no longer talking. And I come along about once a month, and I put up on my laptop songs that were around in our childhoods, and we sing them together. So he doesn't talk anymore, he doesn't communicate, but boy can he sing. And for me, it's really moving. His wife asked me to do it, and I'm more than happy. She offered to pay, but I said, "No, I don't want money." And it's therapeutic for me. It reminds me, all these songs bring back memories and things like that. And I think all of us should do something kind, you know, do little random acts of charity if possible. And I think it helps make the world go round. And we have a duty really to look out for each other in my life, in my words. One day I was walking along in my town, and I saw a very distressed young woman, and feels a bit awkward, isn't it, when you're an old git like me, and you don't want to frighten somebody or be inappropriate. But I said, "Look, can I help? What something really upset you? What's it about? Can I help you?" I said, "Oh, it's all right. I just applied for a job, and I'm so upset that I didn't get it. I thought, you know, I was in the final three, and I didn't get the job. I was really desperate to get this job." And I kind of said, "Well, why are you desperate?" And she told me she worked in a local doctor's surgery, and she was really, really unhappy there. And that for me was the main issue, was why was she unhappy, and what could she do to make her life a bit better at work? And did she need to stand up for herself, or was there something really bad going on? Was she being bullied? And what could she do to protect herself, you know, and to keep going, keep motivated, and keep looking for other jobs maybe. So, but that was a little act of kindness that I done. I don't, 9 times out of 10, I don't think anybody would have said anything to her, and would have just walked on by, and I said goodbye. And I was quite touched again that she trusted me, you know, because in this scary world, so many inappropriate things can happen. So, you know, going back to that young lady that went out to help me, I was touched that she trusted me, you know, and with all these bad things going in the world, and I was touched that this young woman trusted me as well. So it kind of works both ways, doesn't it? And you know, I go and do the singing with this chap free of charge, and I'm happy to do it. But actually, it does me power good as well to see him enjoy himself despite his dementia. Anyway, that's it for today. My message is, let's do more random acts of kindness and look out for each other in the world. All the very best now. Bye-bye.